Hello and welcome to Gorilla and The Geek, the podcast for sweaty nerds by sweaty nerds. My name is Kyle from Geeks Weekly, and I'm here, joined as always by my good friend John, the Ginger Gorilla. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing, man, another day in the life of quarantine, so feels like almost every other day. But we got another day of talking about Jersey Shore. So, it's a
One
great
of the
day, man.
last, one of the last days, though.
Yeah,
We only
and
have one more week.
it's a lot nicer than I think last week when we record. Right? Last week it was gloomy out, it was
Yeah.
gray. Today it is beautiful out. We got sun. It's like a good temperature, not like sweat temperature, but
No.
not like sweatshirt temperature. So that's nice.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
you know, it's a good day in the neighborhood.
But speaking of sweat,
Sweat.
what occurred after we left our heroes in Italy on last week's episode is they went to go spend their summer back at the Jersey Shore. That's right, folks. Immediately after 40 days, I believe, spent in Italia, the Jersey Shore family goes back from whence they came. Now, originally, when I first watched this back in high school, I had no idea they filmed the season back to back. And thinking about it now, like I enjoy spending time with my friends, including John, doing weekends away or however long you do vacations with friends. I've never had a fully more than 3-day vacation with friends before. John can speak to this a little bit more than I can. I feel like spending 40 plus days with people and then doing another, what, month and a half to 2 months
They
with
did
that same
like
people?
about 110 days together. Someone mentions
Wow.
it towards the end of the season.
JWoww.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I mentioned last week, the producers of the show were probably thinking to themselves, all right, so we're 3 seasons in. We should send them to Italy. It'd be really fun. And to get the most bang for our buck and the most amount of drama we can, let's make them go back to Jersey immediately after that.
Yeah.
And pretty good idea because you have these storylines that start in season 4 and really progress through and finish in season 5. Mostly with the Mike stuff, which we'll get into. A little bit with the Dina stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as well as the Snooki and Gianni stuff, and it's stuff that really could have come up to a really big bubble. I'm not sure if it did. We'll get into that. But what were your thoughts on the decision to go back to back?
I mean, just from a production standpoint of time, they kind of had to. Because you record Italy, put that season out, and when you come back, it's summer here. So if they didn't do it this summer, right, they would either have to send them somewhere else for the next season during the winter sometime, or you have to wait until a whole year till the next summer.
Oof.
And obviously they didn't want to do that. And they eventually do. I mean, spoiler alert, between season 5 and season 6, it's a whole year. But they had to. They basically had to. And like you said, it made for a lot of drama, but in a weird way, not.
Yeah. So we can get into that in a little bit now, where we can just go full fledged into overall season thoughts. But real quick, I mean, it's important to recognize that this was the final season of nobody being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
In season 6, spoiler alert, if you're watching along with us, Nicole comes into that season pregnant. Mike is starting his journey to becoming sober during that, or right before that season, and this is really the last remnants of the
Jersey
single
Shore. Yeah.
20s party goer Jersey Shore cast that we have.
20s. LOL.
Well, and Paulie and Mike
Mike.
both
Yeah, they're
being
both
early
30
30s.
something.
I think
31,
Paulie's
32, something
31.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's significant for that reason. It might be the last Ron and Sam season. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't watched season
I
6
don't
in a while.
remember.
So there's a lot to sink in in this season. But with that being said, let's go into the overall thoughts on the season.
Yeah.
Like you were alluding to, a lot. This wasn't a really, especially after Italy, which is probably the most volatile season that we've had so far. This felt like the most relaxed one.
Which is so crazy because, I mean, you have your little things here and there, like Vinny going home, which we'll get into, the Mike rumor situation with Snooki, which started in Italy, and Mike is basically plotting this whole entire season to tell Gianni. But nothing hands out to be this big drama-filled thing. It's kind of, there's a Jenny. They try to make Jenny and Roger like a drama-ish drama thing when he's like not seeing her for a little bit or whatever, and then she gets upset, but then apparently she's in the wrong, which I still don't understand. I'm confused, but there was just like nothing really dramaful going on. But it didn't make it a bad season. I mean, obviously not one of the best seasons. I don't think.
I'd rank it last amongst the seasons we've watched so far.
Yeah. But it's still good reality TV.
Still very entertaining.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Got some good quotes up here. But it's not. I mean, you could see they were starting to fizzle, I think, or just get so used to being around each other. Because I mean, it's not like any other friend group. They live with each other for a good extended period of time for 3 seasons before this, and then for this huge chunk of time in Italy and now back in Jersey, right? So they are, at this point, they're probably close to being like family. Or just,
I mean,
almost getting used to living with each other.
Yeah, I'd say by the time it got to Italy, they were probably already family-esque. I mean, of course, you had the introduction of Dina to the cast the season or the year prior. But I don't know, it seems as though at this point you're very close. However, we do have to recognize prior to Italy, prior to this whole adventure for seasons 4 and 5, this is the longest amount of time they've gone without being around each other.
Oh,
right?
good point.
In season 1, it's the summer of 2009. Season 2 is the winter of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Am I mathing that correctly? Yes.
Yeah.
And then season
Summer
3 is the
2010.
summer of 2010.
And then
Italy season is the spring of 2011.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a chunk of time, and that's when you get the whole stories about Mike and Nicole and all this stuff. And I think that stretch of time maybe is what caused Italy to be so volatile, because they haven't been around each other that often.
Which is so funny, because it's like you think them being around each other would create more drama, when really them not being around each other or being around each other off camera is what created the drama.
Seemingly so. And you get to this point in the show, season 5, where they're around each other for such a long time. Maybe they're just kind of aware. I'm still wondering why Ron and Sam stopped fighting, basically. Like, they're good this entire
that's
season.
what I was going to say. I think that's why there's not that much drama. Like, this is the best them being a couple we've ever seen. Ever. There's no drama with Ron. There's no drama with Sam. And having that volatile 2 people for those first, how many seasons? 4, let's say, maybe 3 and a quarter, because Italy, they basically get clean of drama, and I think that's what kind of took away from this just almost exhausting level of drama. Because I didn't mind. Did you mind there not being crazy levels of drama this season?
No, I didn't mind it.
It felt like almost this season, and then going into next season, almost like a closure of, like, you see them progressing, maybe growing up into the reality, like reality adults almost, instead of reality teenagers that they once were, of just partying and just all the drama. But I think that played a big role on the season of Ron and Sam.
Yeah, I think so too. And you have there's even some like mature discussions going on in the show. I mean, Vinny Guarani, a decade out from mental health being a big thing, mental health advocate in 2011. Who would have
Yeah.
thought? Jersey Shore out here setting all sorts of trends, and this was a positive one. Vinny discussing his anxiety, and his roommates deciding to understand and be like, "Okay, I get it. You got to deal with your thing.
They
Cool.
understand
I
to
don't."
an extent, though. You have to
Well,
think
no,
about it because I
yeah.
don't think Vinny was home long, and they were like, "We need Vinny back,"
I
and they
think
went to get him. Do you think
maybe a
he
week.
gave the okay though? Almost like behind the scenes,
Yeah, I think they had to have.
because
I think
like,
I think that whole Paulie deciding to bring him back was staged.
all right, I mean,
That's my belief.
I would
I could be
assume
wrong.
so, right? Because like, obviously he's probably still contracted, so they don't. I mean, them going there, um, they wouldn't have to blur anything or whatnot, but um, it went so smoothly. Like,
Well, yeah, they went there. He
yeah,
First of all, quickest turnaround I've ever seen someone make. Goes home, gets his fade fixed, and then gets a massive tat within what 4 days?
all
From
I'm
what it
saying
seems like.
is he just missed his mom.
Yeah, I
You got to
think so
think
too.
he was away from home for a long time, and for Vinny, with Vinny and his mom, like just having that family connection that Vinny has, I think he was just homesick. I mean, given he probably has anxiety, and there's probably a background of mental. I want to say full illness, mental, but like just
Well,
something
mental
there.
health
Yeah, thank you.
situations.
I couldn't think of the word. Um, that that probably played a part, and then being homesick on top of it probably just was extreme. And then him still knowing that he has so many weeks left, it's just one of those things that you like is in the back of your head eating away at you. Like, oh, we still have to do this. We still have this song. Oh my god, how am I gonna like? I miss it. I want to be home. Blah blah. So then maybe the week was like, okay, I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And
Also, getting a tattoo, wild, just
massive
out of
too.
nowhere.
Huge.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is a funny moment, not to step on it later, but them not understanding what the tattoo
Oh
meant, I
yeah.
thought was pretty great. And since we're having the Vinny discussion now, I'm wondering if we can't just go into our MVP discussion for the season.
Sure. Yeah.
So, to me, the real candidates for MVP this season are, and I'm going to go runners up and then I'll announce my winner.
Mm-hmm.
And we can go back and forth in terms of runners up if we have any different ones. For me, it's Pauly D. You have Snooki with a comeback performance, and you have Ron and Sam.
Interesting.
Those are
Interesting.
my
Was this the
four
hardest season for you
contenders.
to decide?
Yeah, because there was no
Because
real
no one
standout
really, yeah, there
performances.
was no one stood out. I was just gonna say because the same exact thing. It's just it, like they were all entertaining, um, but it wasn't crazy. And I agree with all your everything you just said.
Okay.
Just 100%. JWoww. I don't think JWoww was ever super entertaining.
Throughout the entire series?
Like if you really think about it,
No,
right?
you're correct.
she
I mean,
has she has like that tough girl role where like she has like brief moments of punching Mike in the face in AC, the Sam fight, like
she
these
peaked
things.
early.
Yeah. But then it was just kind of like,
Support role.
yeah, which I don't mind. We need it. I was even after I was most intrigued with her and Roger's relationship. Um Knowing about her children, um and all that, that was very interesting. And now I think I'm more intrigued in her than a lot of the cast. um like I'd rather hear about her than Ron right now, and things like that. But it's it's interesting to see like that she was just kind of like blah, because she, anywhere else she would be the big personality.
Yeah, it's just you had a room full of alphas, and she maybe was the least alpha personality.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would argue maybe Ron and Sam are less alpha personalities, but the two of them together make like a concoction, if you will.
Yeah.
So, John, who is your winner for the MVP of the season?
This was hard, but I think it might be Vinny.
Yeah, that's my winner too.
Because like he was just entertaining this season. Like
yeah, even though he's gone for about an episode and a half.
Yeah.
He's still, I mean, and I don't want to trample on moments for later, but he's got the iconic moments of the season. He brings home the two lesbians. He has which is kind of just insane, which he tries to do earlier on in the season, by the way. With I think like an episode or two prior, where he's talking to this girl who's very attractive, and he's like, "Oh, but she likes girls, so it's whatever." He brings home the first thick chick in Jersey Shore history.
Yep.
Because he says hot girls are boring, which is so awesome. He gets tatted mid-season.
He says, "I need some variety in my diet."
Boom. Awesome. He has the big prank of turning the house inside out. He's the what I found Pauly D to be in season 2. Vinny was this season. Even though, I mean, I would equate this MVP performance to that of like Michael Jordan season that he left the NBA.
Yeah.
There's no real standout ultra supersonic megastar. But, someone stepped up. They played pretty well. They got hurt for about like a month maybe. Half a month, 2 weeks. But they still came back.
So you're just talking about like Scottie Pippen?
Well, he wasn't the MVP that season, but yeah, we can call it the Scottie Pippen season award. And he filled his role, and I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Because like this season, there was the fact that this season, like, it was just the season. There was nothing too crazy. So with that, then there was no one too crazy. I mean, we had crazy. Obviously, we still got Mike, but not crazy in the sense of like standout entertainment crazy.
Exactly.
But with that said, can we talk about Mike a little bit?
So, real quick, before we do that, should we just do the least likable of the season?
Yeah, it's easy.
So, the contenders, is Snooki a contender for this one this season, or
I don't even know, because I didn't not like her.
No, I mean the only thing I would argue the Meatballs have a case, because they were really, really negligent with work, and that had to have sucked.
That's true. But that didn't it didn't bother me at all.
No, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, that sucks for Danny.
The seasons 4 and 5, this should just be called the Mike Situation Award.
Oh, of course.
Because he goes from Italy being nuts, and maybe he was going through withdrawals in Italy.
But okay, yes, but I feel like I have moments this season where maybe withdrawals in Italy, and then he comes back and he's able to get whatever he takes. Because this season, I think there was a lot of times that you have almost evidence of him just being like out of his mind almost. And I don't know if it's definitely drugs, but I was like, that could be drugs.
So here's a moment where I was like, oh, there's the drugs. It's 2 of them.
You say the same things I was thinking? It's going to be wild.
The one moment was when he decided that Snooki pit him against the house.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Paranoia.
Even though he's the one who brought it up. She just told him to confront everyone about it.
Exactly. And then another one, I don't know if you noticed this, when they're camping.
Oh, that wasn't the one for me, but I get that one.
When that one was extreme, because everyone's like, Mike, why are you being so weird? They're like, literally like, what are you hiding from? And he's like in the tent, like looking out, sweating. Like, it was strange, man.
He's sweating quite a bit this season.
I mean, drugs, dude.
For me, the one that made me think, oh, drugs, is when Pauly and Vinny flip the rooms.
Oh, and he got... Yeah.
When he gets upset about his stuff being touched, I think it's because he didn't want people to see his drugs.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
And that's just my thought.
And then with the whole thing with Unit, like he needs to prove that this happened. Like it's like a
Weird.
mission. It's almost like a weird movie where he's like a spy and he has to prove something. Because like this whole season, he's trying over and over and over again to get Unit to tell Gianni that it happened. He needs
Well,
to know.
here's the weird thing though. Episodes 1 and 2, he's trying to do it. Unit leaves. And then Mike is, first of all, real quick, just an aside, the name Unit, awful. The
Tattoo, the
kanji tattoo across his neck, awful. Aged poorly. Nicole saying your hair is curly, you look stupid. Come on now, that's messed up. Yeah, just and him getting drunk to the point of near and then eventually getting arrested is like Unit. Chill out, brother. So Unit leaves. He goes to Florida. Mike is being the nicest guy in the world
yo.
for like
Oh wait, no. Unit went to. I was gonna say, did Unit go to Florida for rehab? But then
no, he went
he
to Miami.
didn't. He was with friends.
he he goes to Miami. And then Mike is, when I say nicest guy in the world, by Mike standards is what I mean. And it's weird because you have someone trying to be this really nice person, trying to prove to people that he's a really nice guy. In the back of his mind, he's like, I'm still gonna ruin this girl's relationship.
Yeah,
And it's like, what are you doing?
I like your mic bounce.
Well, yeah, he does this. Oh my! I think he hit peak Mike voice in this season. There's a point where he's talking about the girl who comes up to him at the club, and she's like, "My boyfriend just cheated on me, and I want to whatever." And he was like, "And you know what? I'm down." And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Mike just peaked.
you peaked, brother! Oh man!" And is he entertaining this season? Absolutely. If we didn't have a least likable award, I would make the case for Mike being the MVP of this season because he's giving the most entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Period, whether it be drama filled or not. However, we have the least likable award, and this dude is just trying to not. I mean, at the end of season 4, he says, "Say hello to the bad guy," as if he's freaking Tony Montana.
He says it multiple times that like, oh, there always needs to be a villain. I guess that's just me. Like,
yeah, or in season 4, I think he says, "When drama starts, I get up." It's just weird, and you have people trying to talk to him throughout the seasons, being like, "Hey, stop being this way," but
bro,
he can't help it.
I just remembered something.
Mm.
It's under one of my that's cringe, but it has to do with Mike and maybe drugs. That one time he was ranting, about people not liking him. I think it was a little earlier in the season, and his pants are falling off.
Ooh,
He's just like, cause like maybe he was just drunk, but like people are telling him like, Mike, your pants, and it's not there. Like it's not. That's not even in it. It didn't even enter his head. He may have heard it, but it didn't even enter his like. But it was just, it was almost sad,
yeah.
right? Like it was.
It's
And thinking
sad looking
about,
back on it now.
yeah, I mean, I think during the time it was sad too. Like I don't think we realized it because we were in high school.
I
But
didn't realize he was on
if we
drugs.
were adults at the time, I think maybe this is why it was made fun of so much by like South Park, and because they're kind of train wrecks, all like a good amount of them.
Oh
It
yeah,
doesn't
I
make
would
for
argue
great
all of
reality
them.
TV. I mean, I think Vinny's pretty all right.
I don't know, man. So like, look, I would argue that Paulie is the most okay out of all of them because he's in the process of the show happening. He's becoming a very successful DJ.
That's true.
JWoww being an IT person, but prior to the show, while being a little bit of a controlling girlfriend who also likes to fight, is a little bit train wrecky.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd argue Paulie's the guy that the most together. Vinny, I mean, I've never spent an absurd amount of time away from home, but I could go like, I mean, I've gone 6 months without people that I've was raised by. like, to be that homesick is a little bit odd. I mean, and granted, there's the anxiety angle, which I get. But even Ron says it in this season, and Ron's one of the ones who's taking it the worst. He's saying like, Vinny's mom basically wipes his butt for him, and there's, and it probably changed after the show stopped, but it just seems as though he's not adjusted to not being around, not even being around his family. That's the sort of weird thing for me.
He's the youngest one though, right?
Yeah, I think during this season he's either 24 or 23.
It's interesting because that probably plays a little bit of it.
Maybe.
But besides that, yeah, I understand what you're saying about Pauly D being the most, because this is his life anyway. Being a DJ, it doesn't really deviate from partying, going out, and
also he becomes the most financially successful out of all.
Yeah. He still has a residency in Vegas.
He's rich.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah. It could have been Mike, but Mike's tax fraud led to issues later.
Now, I think a bunch of them are doing well now. If not all, I don't fully know their financial breakdowns.
The only one who I'm not sure about is Sam, because I don't know what she's.
Yeah.
Aside from getting like Instagram bags, I don't.
But for the
bags, money, not
for the fact that she didn't come back to the show. I feel like she's doing pretty. She has to be mentally doing better than most of them.
Oh, mentally for sure. Although, to have a wedding during quarantine, that's bold.
We don't know if it was though, or if those pictures were just put up. Kyle and I stalked her Instagram a little bit because we were like, "What's going on?"
Whoa, John, stalked.
It was a good word.
Oh my God. No, she's a public figure with an Instagram. She posted pictures and we saw them.
Scrolled for days.
Jesus.
We just kept scrolling and scrolling.
And with that, I say we get into That's Cringe. What do you got?
And scrolling. That's cringe. Mike's birthday. It was just, I felt kind of bad for him in the beginning, and then I didn't. But it was cringy. And at the beginning, because they ended up having a party for both, but in the beginning it was kind of almost mean.
It was sad.
Yeah, and then I did feel bad because he kind of is. Then he throws himself a pity party, which was also just sad. And he falls asleep at Pauly D's thing, and they put cake on him. And then they put cake on him, and I just feel bad about that too.
Sidebar before you continue, John knows this. I've become obsessed with trying Rivolis one day. I need to, more than any other food experience. I need to try one of their massive platters. So bad. I've been craving Italian food for the past 5 freaking weeks because of the show. I need it in my system.
Rivolis.
Where you can get cannolis. All right, next one, John.
The Mike walking around the house with his pants falling off, that was cringe.
Big time.
Yeah, I don't really have much else. I need to think of things.
Yeah, I didn't
jot it down.
I didn't have that many That's Cringe moments. One of mine was the multiple phone calls with Roger and JWoww. Especially the one where Roger's explaining why she's wrong for being mad at him. It was kind of like, this isn't entertaining. This is kind of just hard to watch two people fighting.
Yeah, it was just their personal life that we didn't need.
Exactly.
I guess. It was reality TV, and you need to fit Jenny in there somewhere, but
yeah.
And I guess this was it. But you know what's amazing? There was no Ron or Sam. That's cringe.
Yeah, this is
shout out Ron and Sam.
Is this the first time?
First time.
Wow, that's crazy.
What an arc.
Yeah, I mean, great for them.
Why do I feel like I thought of a Snooki that's cringe, but now I can't remember? I guess the fight. Her Mike chasing each other around the house and turning a food fight into a fight. It was weird.
That was what I was gonna bring up.
It's childish
because the worst part about the fight is that she never has the upper hand until she goes onto his bed.
Yeah,
it's kind of sad watching her try to get him, and he's just dodging everything like it's the Matrix. Really bad look for Snooki there. Although the revenge on getting onto his bed is genius.
Yeah, very smart.
So I think that'll do it for That's Cringe. We don't have that many things. Again, the season wasn't as drama-filled, so we couldn't really fill up the stat
dive
sheet.
into it, yeah.
And
Um,
would you like to balance it out with the funny moments of the season? I'd like to start
yes,
off if so.
I got some more of this.
One of my favorite moments of the season was really short, but it's like a. I don't think it all happens in one episode, but the Shore family comes back and they decide to shock the system with the GTL.
Yes.
The first GTL was funny in and of itself, but then later on, it wasn't the same episode, confirmed. In an episode following that one, when Paulie's trying to get Vinny's spirits up, he takes him out to a spa day. First of all, watching Mike get a mani-pedi and not enjoying it at all,
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. But then Paulie exfoliating his burnt skin.
Yes.
Oh my god! And you can see it from like under his eyes to his cheeks. It's a triangle of just red.
Yeah, and he can't move. He still gets it in.
Somehow.
Um, but like his face just hurts, and he's just sitting there, and you could see like he don't want to move his face when he's talking. Quality content right there.
Another funny moment. Paulie's talking about a club experience, and he's like, and as soon as we get in there, I see these two girls fighting, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's Sam. And then Sam afterwards walking home. Again, this is all part of the Sam redemption arc. While walking home, she's calmed down entirely, and then she goes, and I still held on to my clutch.
Yeah.
And pulls up her bag. Like, oh, shout out Sam. Still with the comeback performances of the decade. And
there's one at they're at a club. The meatballs are dancing, right? And they have a dance off with some Hispanic like actual dancers. Like they're
was that this season?
They're break dancing like yeah.
Yeah, they're doing like all the
yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
And it's so funny the juxtaposition of these meatball guidettes against these Hispanic like they you could tell those boys take dancing very serious. Like they love dancing, which I never understood at a club. But whatever. I guess that's where you showcase it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where you would.
Yeah, but it's just always so weird when people people are just having a good time, and then you see these people who are just so serious about it.
Well, no,
it's
so
like
my thing.
It's like when you're singing karaoke and someone takes it to the next level.
Oh no, that's much worse.
I don't agree. Like I just think it's so.
Worse.
Like if Chris Brown started dancing in the club, like just going at it.
No, I'm fundamentally disagreeing with you here because here's the difference.
Because you like dancing, that's why.
Not just that. If we are at a karaoke bar together,
yes,
it's our friends, and someone gets up there and sings karaoke and does really well. That's cool, whatever. If one of our friends does it in a private room with us and they sing very well, that's a little like, what are you doing? Have fun. If I'm out dancing with my friends and we're in our own dance circle, and some jabron walks in and starts doing all the crazy moves and stuff and flexes on us, that's cringe.
Yeah, I guess you got a point. Now,
if you are dancing seriously with your boys somewhere else, that can be kind of cool because then everyone could be like, oh my gosh, look at those dudes. They're killing it over there. Totally different.
All right, I renege my statement.
Don't impede on my dancing with your practice moves. That is cringe, my friends.
It was wild though. It was just because then the Guidettes thought what they were doing was good when all they do is just kind of bounce and flail around. Like
they call it frolicking.
Yeah, but like, dude, that's true. It is club culture. Like the club
listen.
EDM
I don't listen
culture.
To house music, which is what they listen to, I believe.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. Jersey house.
You ever wonder what exactly? Do you ever wonder what the music is that they're listening to at the clubs? Is it all just the house music?
Bro, they had to play some hip hop, right? Like you don't hear it ever, but they had to.
I would hope so.
There was one season where I recognized the song in the background, and I'm like, "Oh, I finally know one." Because it was a popular song during the time, but I don't remember the song. I don't remember the season, and it was once throughout this whole span, like.
Which is really odd because early 2010s is when Jersey Club, which is its own genre of music, when Jersey Club was really starting to take off, you never hear a single Jersey Club record on the show at all.
Dude, it was so unique.
No one doing the sexy walk. No one doing any of that stuff, really. It's crazy. But shout out to the Frolickers and the Goofsters and Gapsters.
Yeah. The
Any other
Inside
funny
Out
moments?
prank. The
Oh,
Inside Out prank was so good. So well done.
a lot of work.
Yeah, they obviously had a team to help them, which they've recruited through Danny, which I don't know if I fully believe that, but it was a great prank. Like down just like if it didn't rain, I would like sleep outside that night. Like
You would have?
just to do it. Just to do it. Just to
Oh.
do it. Wouldn't it be funny though? Like just fully immerse yourself with it. Which I don't know if you notice, they for the rest of the season they leave one of the outdoor tables indoors. It's like a glass like outside table.
Well, they also, I think the AstroTurf is still in there at the end of the show.
Oh my god, I didn't really. Well, yeah, I guess they probably just were like, I'm not putting this back.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I think the pool might even still be in there by the end of it. But it's
Oh
awesome.
yes, because when Vinny's mom comes, it's like there, and then she's like, "This is disgusting."
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of quotes this season though.
There was
That was
one more
that was
funny
it
moment.
funny moment for me.
Oh, Lola the bunny suit. That was a
Oh
great moment
yeah,
for me.
that was good. That was good. Yeah. And then Snooki came up with a whole background story for it. That was interesting.
So good. But I would actually love to hear your quotes for the season.
First one. Mike goes, very beginning of the season, our GTL endurance is not up. Like it's a stat in a video game. I picture GTL and it's like they're in Italy and it slowly ticks down. And then you go and you can't get sunburned before that, but now sunburn's an effect that you could get, and Paulie gets it, right? This girl, this is when Vinny leaves. This girl's Vinny's type to a T, so I smashed her. It's a perfect way to honor Vinny. Paulie D. Another time, Paulie D calls a cab, and he's on the phone with the lady. This is probably one of my funniest moments. And he goes,
so good.
"Hi, how are you?" She goes, "Good." He goes, "How's the kids?" She's like, "Good." And he goes, "They must be getting big now, aren't they?" And she's just like, yeah. So what do you need a cab for?"
So good.
Because it was just so nonchalant and just so like you could tell natural for him to just kind of do.
Yeah, the Pauly D stuff. I mean, it ages so well.
Yeah,
he's like someone who's meant for the Instagram clippiness that we're in right now, where you just take like a 5 or 6 second clip of him, and it's just funny. Mm-hmm. I have a quote from Mike. It's after his and Pauly's combined party, and he says, "I don't even remember the stripper's name. It could have been Anita because I need a cigarette. I need some French toast. You know what? I need to get the hell out of here."
that
Too
was a good
good.
one.
Another stripper one. I have no idea why the stripper is worried about socks. For some reason.
Dude, she was obsessed with the socks, which I thought was hilarious.
Although his socks were pretty gross, to be fair.
Yeah.
But go on if you have any more quotes.
Yeah, I have. This is like Dina and I think Snooki had this conversation, or Dina and JWoww. I don't remember, but it's Dina and Sam. I just remembered. Dina plugs something in and gets like electrocuted or whatever, and she goes, "When you get electrocuted, does it mess your brain up?" And Sam goes, "No, police shoot people with electric guns all the time." And it's like, one, I don't think it happens all the time. Two, electric guns. Great vocabulary this cast has. Yeah. Their vocabulary of just regular things is so just not there. It's hilarious. Mike goes one time, he goes, "I'm just so good with the woman. There should be butter named after me because I'm just so smooth." And then my last one that I made a note of was Dina saying when they're out camping, "Mike, put down the fire." He's like a hermaphrodite or something.
Oh my god. That's the creme de la creme of the quotes this season.
It's like, wow. Wow, Dina.
That was the best one. That was the best.
Wow.
Horrendously offensive in 2020.
Yeah.
But for someone's brain to do that in the moment. truly special. Truly special.
Uh,
And I don't have any other quotes. You said most of the ones that I had. I just had the two with Mike as well in there. And that wraps it up for our categories. John, before we wrap things up entirely for the pod, and I know this is a little bit of a shorter one, do you have any closing thoughts on the season as a whole?
as I kind of said it earlier, it was a very entertaining season, right? In the sense of any other reality TV show, right? It's just a reality TV show this season.
Yeah.
There's nothing stand out about it. The notable moments aren't as big as other notable moments. The show kind of peaked.
When do you think it peaked? Before this or during the season was when they flatlined?
To be honest, I think every season was up before this. Maybe halfway through Italy. But that's a maybe.
So my argument would be this. For me, it's Jersey Shore season 1, it goes up like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stays at that level through up until the last episode of season 4 when Mike started doing all the cringe stuff.
Yeah.
It became a little bit unentertaining and just kind of like I was annoyed at Mike.
Yeah.
So it takes like a small little dip, just like a centimeter. And then it takes another little hit this season, slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of right here. It doesn't reach the peaks of seasons 1, 2, and 3. I think
no,
those
but
seasons
it's
are
still
incredible.
very entertaining. Like it was very bingeable. Very like it's
easy
there.
to watch.
It's a good season. And if we didn't have those other seasons, I think it would be like, wow, this is a great like mix. And I would still watch this over like a Real Housewives. But I don't. Obviously, it wasn't the other seasons. In the sense of drama and stuff like that. But it's very reasonable and it's understandable. Because at this point, the show's starting to run its course. Because now it's spanned years from when we first started watching.
Well, now we're where? We are in 2011, yeah?
Let's see when the episodes aired. Oops.
We're definitely 2011, for sure. In terms of the filming of the show. I think this season aired in 2012, though. And if you're speaking about like the show running its course to us as the viewers, then I think I would agree with you for sure.
Yeah.
It's been on for years at this point. Do you have it up?
Going. It's
okay. We have to keep speaking because this is radio. And we
so
don't want dead air.
This season started airing January 5th, 2012. And the season ended March 22nd, 2012 with the reunion episode. So March 15th, 2012.
Wow,
once a week.
This show went on for a while.
Yeah. And the first season aired December 3rd, 2009. So 3 years later. It's been 3 years of Jersey Shore. And that's a lot with the same cast. Basically the same formula, right? And they've grown so much. Like we said, they're probably getting used to being on TV now. They're just kind of so all the normal drama that they may have let slip through the cracks are kind of probably a little more reserved and worried about their image a little more at this point.
It might be. And right now in the 2012 range, Twitter starting to become a bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram is either just starting or is about to launch. Facebook is already huge at that point. I'd say Facebook was, in terms of cool factor, was peaked. And now it's kind of like the lame spot for adults to argue about politics.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they were a little bit more image conscious.
Yeah. I mean, and just, it has to be a natural occurrence because they're starting other businesses now, slowly but surely. And just being in the media so much, it had to start kind of just slowly seeping into their brains. Like, they probably didn't have formal training. like somehow sometimes like superstars do media training, but it probably was something that they just learned that they need to be maybe a little more reserved, a little more here and there. Um, Given the meatballs are still getting belligerently drunk here and there, but um, you could see the progression throughout these seasons very easily,
Yeah.
especially watching it back, not living it real time. Um, and yeah, that's basically all my thoughts on this season.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. Again, you can see the show starting to wind down because it seems as though some of them are starting to wind down. Again, I mentioned this earlier. This is the final season of everyone being single non-parents who still party. The following season, we have Mike attempting to be sober. We have Snooki attempting to film a Jersey Shore season whilst with child. And it has a significant impact on the season. I'm not going to spoil anything because I remember one of the big things that happened during the season, which really must have been stressful for the people filming it. They were kind of like, oh god, but we'll get into that next week. And you you still have fun with these people, but it's maybe not as fun as previous seasons. I actually found myself after finishing this season, and I'm being serious, I genuinely wanted to go back to watch season 1 again.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is that because I have an odd and maybe sick and twisted love for the show,
Mm-hmm.
but I just felt like, all right, I had fun with them, but I almost wish I was having as much fun as I did the first time.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Shows are like that. Shows have this up and down roller coastery effect to them, and that's fine. That's part of life, and this is reality television after all. You see what I did there, John? I'm incredible, I know. And John, we only have one more week of doing this reality review.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying this.
It's a
I
lot
know
of
you
fun.
have too.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if we weren't talking about this, I'm just enjoying watching the show again. I love this. It's like
That's the
I,
thing.
th-
Yeah. It
I
was
think it's
a
like a top
great
10 favorite show of
quarantine.
mine.
Great quarantine watch.
Incre- so here's the thing. Even if you don't care about what we say about the show, that's fine. But do yourself a favor. You're in quarantine right now. Give the show a watch. It's so fire. It's so entertaining. There's nothing like it. And if you're from Jersey and you've never watched this show, shame on you. Number one, who do you think you are, not accepting Jersey culture? Number two, give it a try. It's not black tar heroin. It's not going to be something that melts your brain. There's a case that it's going to melt your brain, but it
Oh
probably
my
won't.
god.
You'll be all right.
I just picture someone starting Jersey Shore and then having to watch literally any content that was created by these people, and it just slowly develops their life to the point of like they're just like just sitting there all day just watching Jersey Shore content, morphing into the Jersey Shore character, and like they're like, I need a new fix. They start running out of content, they're freaking out. They're just going on Instagram looking at Snapchats like, Paulie D, what are you doing? Paulie, Vinny,
Fist
what are you?
pumps, push-ups. Chap, did you hear? People listening to this,
Wow.
did you hear that little pop of that chapstick? Little pop.
Oh
That was awesome.
man. And I think with that, we're wrapping it up. Remember, you could always see me, mixer.com/Ginger Gorilla, closing in on 1,000 followers. Hopefully, maybe I'll hit that tonight when we're after this recording. Not right away, but don't get rid of that face. Probably gonna stream tonight.
Oh,
YouTube.com, Ginger Gorilla Gaming. We have Let's Plays coming out left and right every single day. Fortnite Friday videos consistently coming out now because I'm trying to be a dedicated man. Every day I'm putting up clips on Instagram, Ginger Gorilla Gaming, Twitter, see my thoughts, all that goodness. And everyone stay safe out there. We're going through crazy times. And Kyle, where can the people see you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Buff Charmander. You can find me on YouTube and or your favorite podcast app at Geeks Weekly, even though there's no at. And real quick, John and I didn't discuss this beforehand, but he kind of mentioned it just now, so I figure why not. we are going through a lot of really rough times as a nation right now, and we don't really talk about this stuff here. We're trying to keep people entertained and provide some form of escape. This situation seems like something that we really can't escape from, though. So I'm going to ask John live on the air if you wouldn't mind leaving the link that you posted on Twitter in the description of this, so that if people want to help and support in any way that they can, you can check out the link down below. You down for that, John?
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I want everyone to stay safe out there, for real. Be conscious. I want everyone to start really thinking about stuff, and yeah, just stay safe. Hope everyone's doing well with quarantine, with all the stuff that's going on. It's been a rough year, and I hope it turns around soon.
Yeah. And you know what? Stay sweaty, people. Find the content you love, enjoy it, embrace it.
The one time I'm not
I
sweating.
don't know if I have. I might have a little. I can't tell. I don't think I am either. I'm getting
In a
hot
gray
right
shirt
now.
Of all times, I don't have pit stains.
Getting hot right now, but guys, find what you love, embrace it, get sweaty, and if you find something you love and you want me and Kyle to talk about it, let us know about that too, because we're running out of content.
It doesn't mean we necessarily will. If it's not fire, we're not going to.
But we're looking for new things to talk about always. And yeah, with that, peace out, everybody.
See you next time.